only solution that I can see. Knowing the way you guys feel about Julie.
Honey, listen, you misunderstood.
No, Mom, I heard what I heard. You disapprove of Julie just as much as Dad does,
But
so...
that shouldn't be any news to you. I've already told you that. I also promised you that I would try to get to know Julie better. Look, you and your father and I are so emotionally involved in this, it's hard to keep it straight. And I agree with you, the way your father reacted made it even more difficult.
Mom, that's not even the half. You should hear the ugly things he's saying to her in front of me.
Andy, look, you owe it to your mother to at least sit down and try to talk this over before you do something you'll wind up regretting.
Bob, I am not going to regret this. Look, there's no use talking about this. I've already made up my mind. I love Julie. I'm going to be with her. Now, I've got to meet her at the Mona Lisa now. I'll be in touch.
This is like a nightmare. Everywhere I go, she turns up.
Oh, great. This is exactly what I was hoping to avoid.
What?
My Poppy's ready to kill somebody. It was a madhouse with Andy over at the Hughes's earlier.
Well, I'm not afraid of him. Andy and I have plans.
Oh, yeah? What plans?
That's none of your damn business, Duke.
What's she doing here?
I thought when you agreed to meet us here that she'd been fired or something.
You mean you knew?
Yeah. I was just so rattled over the hospital you mentioned. I forgot to tell you.
Wait a minute. One of you tell me, what is she doing here all dressed up like a Christmas tree?
Lisa hired her to be the new hostess here. Julie's working here now.
Derek, why would you think that I want my freedom?
Because I couldn't bear seeing that hurt in your eyes again.
I just had an emotional reaction when you told me about Karen. I just needed time to think about it, that's all. I'm not about to revert to my old ways of pretending that everybody's perfect. I even talked about it with Jeff earlier. What?
I thought I told you to stay away from Jeff Dolan.
Well, I'm glad you haven't lost your nerve like that idiot son of mine.
No way I'd lose my nerve with $5 million at stake. That is still my cut, right?
Maybe more. You know, Jeff, I've grown accustomed to Derek letting me down, but this... I mean, how can a confidence man be so foolish as to fall in love with his own pigeon?
I can't imagine it myself. I spent part of the afternoon with her, all I could do to keep from strangling her. She acts like she's giving you the world on a platter by accepting you as her friend.
They're all the same. Cheers.
So how can we pull this off if Derek refuses to cooperate?
I think I just may have this worked out, Jeff. Now, inasmuch as Lily has already signed her will, there's nothing really that Derek can do to stop us, is there? Huh? I think he'll be fine once he gets our money. Sit down. And let's take you over the revised plan. See what you think.
Portion brought to you today by Secret Antiperspirant. Strong enough for a man, but pH balanced for a woman.
Are you?
I was afraid John was going to light a firecracker, and that is exactly what he did.
Well, look, sweetheart, Andy's in a highly emotional state right now. He really thinks he's in love with this young woman. Well, time has a way of changing things when you're Andy's age. I mean, look what Franny put me through when she moved in with Jay. Then she realized that she was making a mistake after a while, and she moved out.
Every single thing we know about Julie is negative. As near as I can tell, that young lady has an agenda of her own. Oh, Lord, if that's John, tell him I just left for the moon.
Well, I'll run interference.
Dad were on our way to pick up Adam. I just wanted to come by and discuss patterns with Kim. Hi.
Hi. Oh, Lord. I'm sorry.
Kim, what's wrong?
Well, it's Andy. He just moved out. He's going to be living with Julie Wendell.
Oh, when did this happen?
Tonight. John came back from Atlanta today and found Andy over at Julie's, and John went berserk. And he came over here, we were all having a conversation about Andy, and Andy overheard what we were saying and felt that we were trying to run his life. So, he moved out.
Oh, boy. Does John know that?
No, Andy just told us a little bit ago.
Oh, poor Leanne.
Oh, yeah, we just dropped her off at the Mona Lisa to have dinner with John, Duke, and Susan.
Well, that should be interesting, since Andy's on his way over there to meet Julie. Seems Lisa has just hired Julie to be the new hostess.
Have you any idea what kind of a bimbo you hired to be hostess here in your classy establishment?
No. Johnny boy, I know all about Julie, so you keep your opinions to yourself. And if you and Susie Q don't like it, you can always go to another place to eat.
Try and cool it, Pop.
Dr. Dixon, Duke told me what happened with Andy, and if you don't mind my saying so, I think you're making a big mistake.
Yeah, well, you must not have all the facts, then.
No, Duke told me the whole story.
I hope it was an abridged version.
Can I get you folks anything?
Yes, I'd like an amaretto on the rocks, please.
Olivia, I thought we were going to have our nightcap at my penthouse.
Yes, right. We'll discuss it over drinks.
All right, in that case, I'd like some brandy.
We got it.
Want the soup? You know what soup is? Soup.
Well, don't you have to get back to your table? I wouldn't want to annoy Clifford.
Oh, do I detect a note of disapproval?
No, not at all. It's just you did lead me to believe that you had hired a man as your manager.
I told you Jessica hired her. She prefers to use her last name in business situations. What does it matter?
Nothing. Doesn't matter at all. I'm just surprised that you've been able to tear yourself away from the warehouse to come out and build shelves.
I'll be there tomorrow as well. Clifford is a very able, fast learner.
I'm sure she is.
Well, Claire, it was so good to see you and Duncan dancing like old times.
Please, no, it's not old times. It's a very new times, and I'm a wiser and sadder woman since the last time I danced with Duncan.
Shanna, now you still look suspiciously like a woman very much in love. Hey, sweetheart. Dr. Dixon, just remember this. He is a customer here in our restaurant, okay? And it looks to me like your evening is going to really take a turn for the better. Andy, you came right at the right moment. This lady here needs her morale boosted a bit. Your father's sitting over there glaring at her like a black thundercloud. Would you excuse me? So, how is everything over here?
Everything's wonderful.
Thank you.
You know, Trish, Mrs. Mitchell is not only the proprietress of this fine establishment, she's also my landlady.
Oh, really?
Does it all.
Well, you have a lovely place here, Mrs. Mitchell.
Thank you very much. So, Ivor, how are the newlyweds?
Lily and Derek, I haven't seen much of them lately.
They're probably laying low since Lucinda's been going bananas now that Derek's taken Lily away for a whole year.
He what?
Yeah, they're going on an extended round-the-world honeymoon.
But why?
Is it true? A whole year? Why? If I could afford it, I'd do it, wouldn't you?
Derek's impulsive, but there's one thing I'm sure of. He'd do anything for Lily.
Where did you see Jeff?
While I was walking along the river.
I told him to stay off of our property until we've gone.
There's no reason for you to be jealous of Jeff.
Oh, it goes a lot farther than jealousy, believe me.
What does that mean?
I don't want to talk about Jeff. Let's forget it. I want to talk about our future.
I don't want to talk about it if you're planning on giving me my freedom. What makes you even suggest such a thing?
I just don't want to hurt you again, that's all.
Nothing would hurt me more than losing you. Don't you know that? While I was walking down by the river, all I could think to myself was how much I love you and how you've made me happier than I ever thought I could be.
You really do love me, don't you?
Did you ever doubt it? I remember standing here on this spot. You told me that you loved me, and that it would be that way forever. Nothing has happened to change that, Derek. Nothing. You know, when you first suggested that we go away for a year on this honeymoon, I really had my doubts, but I think it's the best thing we could ever do now.
Really?
Yeah.
I know this is gonna sound crazy, but let's go away tonight. Let's pack our bags before anybody or anything can change our minds.
Hey, great idea to eat out here.
Well, I'm glad we could do it tonight. I'm not sure how many more beautiful nights we're going to have like this.
Yeah. Hon, I want you to know how proud I am of you for keeping up such a positive attitude in front of Paul.
I'm trying. I'm trying, but it's very difficult. I just wish he would talk to us and tell us what he's feeling, what he's thinking.
Well, I'm sure he's feeling incredibly guilty about killing his father.
And it's all so unfair, because James was such a monster.
Well, Paul knows that, but it still has to be painful. And I can empathize. My relationship with Harold has always been hostile, to put it mildly, but in spite of all those bad years, when I heard he'd been hurt, I felt things I never knew were there. Paul has to be wrestling with a lot of demons right now.
Well, thank God that Greta had James's body shipped back to Sweden, so Paul won't have to deal with that. All through?
Hey!
Hey, you. Just in time for dessert. Where'd you skip off to?
I was getting assignments to my class from one of the guys, because I'm not going back to class while my picture is still plastered all over the paper. Tom promised it'll all be over once I testify, then I'll go back. It will all be over, right, Hal? I mean, this is the last step.
Well, Paul, it may stretch out. Hastings, the state attorney, still has to familiarize himself with the entire case.
Yeah. Well, Jess said that'll give her a chance to go over things with me and Emily so that there's no surprises when we testify.
I remember when I testified before the grand jury. All they wanted was a simple statement of what happened. If you tell the truth, Paul, everything will be fine.
I still don't understand why the statements we already gave weren't good enough. Why do we have to do this all over again?
Well, Paul, it's an election year, so nobody wants to be accused of glossing over such a sensational case.
Well, Tom said that the investigation is still going on. I hope you'll let me know if Hastings has any reason to doubt what Emily and I said.
Well, actually, Paul, there's been a change. Lieutenant McCluskey's taken me off the case.
What? Why?
He feels I have a conflict of interest.
You think that fire's hot?
Well, I'm much warmer now. Oh, there's so many memories up here for me.
Really?
Last summer, I helped Paul and James hide from the authorities. Maybe if I just turned James in back then, Paul and I wouldn't have these problems.
Hey, you were in love with the guy, weren't you?
No, I don't know. I don't think I knew what love was back then.
Then why'd you stay with him so long?
I don't know. Been trying to figure that one out myself. Maybe I was trying to get back at my mother for something. Maybe I was looking for the father I never had. I don't know. I just know that I've never been in love before. And I know that because of the way I feel for you now. I've never felt like this.
Good.
Will you join me in some wine?
Nah, you go ahead.
Okay. Boy, I wish I knew why Paul and I had to go before the grand jury.
Politics. You know, when I was by your office this afternoon picking up those papers, Paul was on the phone with you. He seemed very concerned that your stories matched. What's that all about?
It was about Foley. You know, I didn't tell the police about Foley initially because I wanted to protect you. But when I testify, they're going to ask me about why he was at my apartment.
Well, that's fine. I can handle that. I'm just sorry that I won't be able to be in the courtroom with you. Come here.
Well, that's awfully sweet. But I don't think your dad would appreciate it. I think a picture in the newspaper was just enough.
Yeah.
What did he say about that?
Well, he was thrilled. He was.
I know.
But, I think that's his problem, though.
Hey. I don't want to cause a rift between you and your family.
Hey, why don't you let me worry about that? Let it go,
No,
please.
let me get it. Hello? Yes, he is. Hold on, please. It's your father. How did he know we were here?
Flight 102. No, that's great. Thank you very much. I got us booked on a flight to New York at 11:30 tonight. We're waitlisted, though, on the flight from New York to London, so we might have to spend tonight at my apartment.
If you're so anxious to get to London, why don't we take Lucinda's jet?
No, I don't want anybody to know.
Derek, I really don't feel so great about just taking off without telling anyone.
It's better this way. You have to trust me. Let's go pack. Come on.
Well, why don't we have some dinner first? It's ready.
Okay. You win.
Okay, I'll go get it. You start packing, okay?
Okay.
If you think you can just walk away from all our plans and I've worked so hard on all of this investment, you're sadly mistaken.
You don't understand. I've fallen in love with Lily. I'm not going to stand by and let her be hurt. I wish I'd never listened to you.
This is Jeff Dolan. It's all right. We have a member of the Oakdale Police Force laying the groundwork for us. Now, he's already met Lily. He's gained her trust.
Well, what's she like, Jeff?
Yeah, about what you'd expect. Shallow, spoiled little brat. But she's very vulnerable right now, so that should work in her favor.
Vulnerable how?
She's coming off 2 failed love affairs and this stupid trip to Montego where she spent a fortune trying to rescue her sister. All she got for her efforts is a nasty scar on her face.
Oh, just my luck.
You concentrate on her bank account, you won't notice. It is, according to my estimate, approximately 25 million. More when Lucinda dies. My God, man, she could be an orangutan for that kind of money.
Well, why don't you just go after Lucinda?
I must confess, that was my original intention. Lucinda acquired a husband after Captain Peeb. Odd fellow. Nonetheless, she's devoted to her.
So I get to do all the dirty work.
Derek, I'm sure that with your charm and Jeff's technical skills, this will run like clockwork. Now, all you have to do is get Lily to fall in love with you and then make out a will once you're married. Gentlemen, it's as simple as that.
Well, what else should I know?
Well, she's very sentimental about people and places. I showed her this ramshackle old cottage down by the river, and she got all carried away, talking about the simple life and things like that.
Sounds like I'm gonna have to work for these millions.
Derek, I thought you were packing. Is something wrong?
No. I was just thinking how strangely some things work out sometimes.
Oh, well, you can count on John to make a situation worse.
Well, he was really in rare form. He even accused Julie of using Andy just to get even with him and Duke.
Oh, God, that's just what a boy that age wants to hear.
Don't worry about it. I give you my word of honor. I will do my best to keep us on the issues.
And I can tell you that Sturgis is going to bring this Stenbeck thing front and center.
I know.
What's happening with the state attorney?
He's still reviewing the case, then.
I just hope this thing moves along quickly for Paul's sake.
Yeah. Tom, we got to get going.
Oh, no, no. Don't rush your wedding. I mean, since John is at the Mona Lisa and Andy's on his way down there, it's only a matter of time before John shows up on our doorstep again.
Maybe I ought to just go over there and sit with your father for a while.
I got nothing to say to him.
What did your mom and Dr. Hughes have to say about you moving in with me?
That I was rushing into something I'd probably regret.
Well, maybe you are. I mean, the way you're going.
Julie, don't you want me there?
Of course I do. But I'm just thinking maybe you should get a place on your own. That way your parents won't hassle you.
They're not hassling me, Julie. They're not gonna hassle me. Look, my place is with you, and that's where I want to be.
She's so very good that she's happy.
Well, Lila, we certainly are going to miss you, but I do believe that you're right. You should spend time with Casey.
I don't know how you've managed the separation this long.
Well, I'm only had stayed in Oakdale because Casey wanted a sense of permanence here. You know, he wanted a home, a place to come back to his wife and his baby. But you know, now he doesn't really want me to go to Boston.
What?
So I really have to find out what's happening.
Oh, sure.
Who's that?
That's Duncan's new district sales manager. Boy, am I glad they're leaving.
I do hope you intend to accept my invitation for a nightcap.
Why do I get the feeling you have more than just a drink in mind?
Because I've never pretended otherwise.
Oh, I'm sorry I was so cavalier about mentioning Derek and Lily. I just thought that Lily had talked the whole thing out with you.
Well, I have been out of touch with her lately, but I didn't push it because I thought that they needed their privacy. But, I mean, this really bothers me a whole year.
Yeah, I know what you mean. If Lenore said that I couldn't see the kids for a whole year, I'd go bonkers.
Kirk, I enjoyed our conversation earlier. I hope we can continue it soon. All right.
So,
I'll tell you later.
So what's Derek going to do about his business?
Well, he's talking about selling out to his partner. It's not a bad idea.
And why do you say that?
Well, I think if he and Lily can get away from all the interference and other people in their lives, they might have a better chance of building something solid.
Why do you say interference?
Dad has a way of imposing himself on us. And from what I've seen of Lucinda, she's pretty good at it herself.
Andy, if you're not going to talk to your father, I'd appreciate it if you just cut out of here because I can't deal with this tension.
Julie, all right, okay, fine. I'll make you happy.
You're gonna just walk out of here without saying anything to me?
At this point, I got nothing to say.
Look, Andrew, I didn't handle things very well this afternoon. But you gotta know what a shock it was to me to walk into Julie's apartment, find you there half naked.
Dad, you're gonna have to get used to it, because I'm moving in with the girl.
We'll continue with part 2 of As the World Turns in just a moment. And now, part 2 of As the World Turns.
You're not serious, Andrew. Or is this your way of getting even with me for the way I behaved this afternoon?
That's exactly the kind of reaction I'd expect. I'm sick of your put-downs about Julie. You and your other son think exactly alike.
Hey, Andy, listen to me. Just wait a minute, okay? Look, Now, I'm willing to do anything. I'm willing to go anywhere, talk as long as you like about this thing. But I don't want to see you throw your life away.
There you go. You just can't help yourself. Let's just end it. End the conversation.
Hello, John. Imagine you're glad to be back.
Overjoyed. Hey. How'd it go, Pop?
Not so good. He's moved in with her.
Oh, sitting here, knowing that we're leaving, I can't help but remember the first time I brought you out to this cottage. Never imagined you would have bought me the place from our wedding present, you know? We've had so many happy memories. The way we met at Lucinda's party, our whirlwind courtship, the flight to London on the jet.
Don't.
What is it?
I don't want to talk about the past because it was my history with Karen that hurt you, and I don't want to hurt you like that anymore. I want to pack away the past, and I only want to concentrate on the future. I want every day for us to be a brand new day.
Derek, is there something you're not telling me? Because if there is...
No, not at all, believe me. Ever since I met you, there's been nothing and no one for me. You gotta believe that.
Who is it?
It's only me, Miles Mason. Oh, I'm sorry that took so long. You know, I'm struggling with this very delicate business problem. I'm not having much success, I'm afraid.
Why were you so insistent upon seeing me before I left?
Because I think you are the solution to my problem.
I don't understand.
Karen, I'm familiar with your expertise as a negotiator. I also know what happened between you and my son.
Look, I really don't want to talk about that.
Right. I'll come straight to the point. I have a business proposition for you. My agent in Italy has bungled a very important purchase. I'd like you to go to Florence
But I
and work
don't know anything about the antique business.
No. Mr. Donatello, he is the art expert, but what he needs, though he doesn't know it, is your financial guidance. Now, look, this will cover your services and pay for a very well-earned holiday.
Well, it's very tempting, Mr. Mason, but I have a business I have to run in New York.
You mean Derek's business? Karen, don't you think it's time you started thinking about your own future? And what better way than a few weeks on the continent?
Well, how long before I would have to go?
Well, immediately. I have a car waiting downstairs, take you to the airport. A charter jet will take you to New York. Your flight leaves at 1 a.m. for Italy. Now tell me, is your passport in order?
Yes, it is.
Excellent.
But why all this urgency?
Well, you'll understand the ramifications when you read this file on the deal. Karen, I am sorry to put such pressure on you, but I have to know right away.
Look, you know, maybe if I call Derek and talk about it with him, he can then work it out.
Fine, no, I wouldn't advise it. I mean, he did say he hoped you'd accept the offer and that you'd have a long and happy holiday.
He did? Very well, then you have yourself a business deal.
Jolly good. Right, are you packed?
Yes, except for my cosmetics case in the bathroom.
Well, why don't I help you check out? You collect your things together. It'll save us both some time.
Here's the key. That would be a big help.
All right, shall I take this case down to the car?
Please, yes.
Okay, I'm going on down to the car then.
Do you want to talk about it?
What?
I don't know, whatever it is your father said that got you so upset.
No, Greg ran away from prep school.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. He's home safe with Marjorie now. It's just the school called my father. He's blaming the whole thing on me because I told Greg he could go to public school with his friends, and Pop overruled me.
I don't know. Why would your father control your personal life?
Because Papa has a lot of strange ideas from the old country. Look, you know, after the divorce, I may leave the family business, and that would mean sacrificing financially for a while until I can put something together on my own. But I want you to be part of my life, no matter what. And I just need to know what you think about that.
Whatever you need for your life, I will always be beside you.
I was hoping you'd say that.
Uh-oh.
No,
Yeah, I have to take it.
Leave these.
Hello?
Hi, Emily. It's Paul. Can you talk?
Sure, Paul. What's up?
I'm just kind of nervous about this grand jury thing.
Oh, don't worry about it. We'll get through it.
Emily, what if the state attorney asks us questions about the ashes in your sink?
I already explained that to them, so there's nothing for you to worry about. Anyway, Hal and Margaret are conducting the case. They're not going to throw us any curveballs.
That's another thing I need to talk to you about. Hal's off the case.
Why?
Hastings thinks it's a conflict of interest, me being his stepson and all. Hal says it's just politics, but I'm still scared. Listen, I have a meeting with Jessica tomorrow to go over some questions that they might ask me, and I'd feel a lot better if you were there.
Okay, I'll cut this trip a little short, and I'll meet you there. Just tell me what time and where.
Jessica's office at noon. Thanks, Emily. Bye.
Was that Emily?
Yeah, I just wanted to touch base with her.
Hey, Ace, how about some dessert? Chocolate cream pie.
I'd love a slice.
You know, I was just thinking about something. What do you say after all this grand jury business is all over that we have a little housewarming party?
Oh, Mom, I'm not sure I'll be able to face a crowd. Listen, was Dad's body sent to Sweden yet?
Oh, yes, it was.
Paul, I just wish you wouldn't dwell on things like that.
It's hard, Mom. I still think I need a chance to explain to my grandmother
Paul, look. In many ways, Greta is just as imbalanced as your father was. Now, why don't you just try to forget about her?
I can't. I just think that I need a chance to explain to her what happened and how...
Munson. Hal, it's Jeff Dolan. I got kind of a weird situation on my hands over here. I reported it to Mac, and he told me to call you.
Why? What's up?
Well, I'm over at the Yardley Motel. Manager kept getting a lot of phone calls for a woman named Karen Barnes. When she didn't answer, he checked her room, found some things thrown around, so he called us.
Any sign of foul play?
Possibly.
Stay put. I'm on my way.
Good. Maybe by that time, this Karen Barnes will show up and it'll all be over.
No one's at home at either Daddy's hotel or the cottage. I guess you better drop me off at the hotel. Luckily, I still have my keys.
That just doesn't make sense. First they cancel cocktails, and then there's nobody at the cottage.
So what is going on with you, Antonio?
Well, I gave Lucinda an ultimatum. Her new shark, Blake Stevens, is trying to take away 2 of Addie's best accounts, so I told Lucinda she calls Blake off of those accounts, or I walk.
Join Antonio.
You don't approve?
No, I don't. I don't see why you can't call Craig and see if he's interested.
Craig's got Emily, and he just hired a new assistant. It wouldn't work. You upset?
Well, yes, I'm upset. It's your career. I just don't see how you can get mixed up with a guy who'd take money from James Stenbeck to finance his business.
Sorry about that.
It was Jake Meyerson. He's flying in from New York to do a special story on Simply Barbara and the new boutique.
Well, wonderful. We should celebrate that. Why don't we go back to my penthouse and I'll open a bottle of vintage champagne?
I have to pick Jake up early in the morning. Maybe next time.
Well, we're running out of next times, Olivia. Thank you very much, Julie.
Sure.
We had a wonderful time.
Okay. Oh, thank you. Come back again real soon.
We will.
Lila, why don't you let me buy you a drink?
Oh, well, thank you, but I have to get ready for my next set. But, you know, you don't have to drink alone. Shannon's right over there.
What are you doing back here?
Well, I just stepped out to put Clifford in a cab.
Would you stop calling her that, Duncan? Her name is Diana.
But let's not argue about it. Why don't you let me buy you a stinger for Old Lang Syne?
Would you excuse me?
please.
I promise not to take advantage. I just want to talk.
Depends on the subject.
Well, I'd like to clear my work schedule for tomorrow. When I finish the shelves, I'd like to put up a satellite dish in the turret room.
Well, I really have to go, but I hope you'll be there for John if he needs you.
Okay, I will. Hey, take care.
Bye-bye. Dude, I'm worried. You know, what if your father comes down hard on Andy? He's acting just like my father about you. No concerns about Andy's feelings at all.
You just do me a favor for once. Stop worrying about Andy and just concentrate on us.
Hello. Are you all right? Yeah. I care a lot about Andy. The last thing in the world I want to do is come between him and his parents. Oh, now listen to me. Andy is old enough to make his own choices, and if he really cares about you and you really care about him, that's really all that matters. It's for you.
Thank you. Hello.
Hi, Bill. No, that's not a problem. I understand. See you in a few minutes. It's Bill Hastings. He wants to meet with Mac and me right away. This could be a long one. I suggest you pick up Adam. See you at home.
Oh, boy.
Bye,
Okay.
Good night, sir. Bye-bye.
Goodbye, honey. I'll see you tomorrow.
Get that on my way out.
Gee, I wonder who that could be. Well, what do you want to bet? That it's your father. Don't worry, I will handle John. Hello.
Things have gone from bad to worse. I think we've got to do something about this.
I take it that you saw Andy at the Mona Lisa.
He tells me that he's moving in with that little barracuda. Did you know about this?
He told us just before he left.
And you didn't try to stop him?
Oh, how could we? With force if you had to.
You know, Leanne tells me that Julie's changed.
I don't care what Leanne says. I mean, you want him to have his old apartment. I said, no, don't do that. I mean, you let him... He's free to do anything out there. God knows, no curfew, no rules, no nothing.
Oh, John, come off. That's a lot of baloney. And besides which, you've got to stop thinking about and talking about our son as if he were a kid.
What do you expect us to do? Lock him in every night? Chaperone all of his dates?
You can't treat him like a 10-year-old.
You're too lenient with him.
Why is it always my fault?
You had custody.
Custody? Custody at 19? It's very easy for you to come waltzing in here and say what you would have done or what I should have done, but that's not what this is about. Placing blame? This is about our son. I am as upset about this as you are, but Mike, we have got to accept what's happened, and then we've got to figure out a way to keep him from totally cutting himself off from us. And if you keep talking to him the way you have been doing, you are just going to push him away from us. Is that what you want to do? Push him away?
Of course I don't want to push him away. All right, I know I don't mean that at all. I don't mean that at all. All right, we'll think of something. We can't lose him, all right?
Okay. Well, I'm gonna say goodnight to my grandmother. You coming?
In a minute.
Okay.
Okay, I hear you're shacking up with Andy.
Well, what's it to you, then?
He's my kid brother. I'm not going to warn you again if you ever do anything, and I mean anything to hurt him.
Save your threats. I'm not interested.
You know, I never thought I'd see the day when you owned the castle and I was just an interloper. Strange, eh?
I don't know. My life has always taken strange turns.
Shannon. Oh, never mind. I was going to say something personal. I'll see you first thing in the morning at the castle, all right? Good night.
Sure. Wait just a moment. Julie, it's Andy. Oh, thank you. Hi. Is everything okay?
Everything's fine. Yeah. Just wanted you to know I'm all unpacked. And Julie, hurry home, because the minute you walk in that door, it's the start of a whole new life for both of us.
Paul, I don't think he would have put any letters in there. After he read them, I'm sure he just came to get me.
It's no use. What do we do now?
We'll call the police.
And so what?
We'll just tell them the truth.
Emily, we can't tell them all the truth. That's why we just burnt all those letters. This is the last step, right? They will close the investigation, won't they, Hal?
Well, hopefully, but it may stretch out. Hastings still has to familiarize himself with the entire case.
Oh. Hey, Tom. What are you doing here?
I'm sorry it's so late. I just got out of a meeting with Hastings. The grand jury will convene the day after tomorrow.
There it goes again. Derek, can I answer the phone, please?
No. It might be Niles or Lucinda, and I don't want to get tangled up in explanations. We've got a plane to catch. Come
I
on.
know that, but I just feel strange leaving like this.
Who the hell is that?
Caleb? Oh, hi.
Listen, sorry to bother you. Trish called you earlier and nobody answered, so I just thought I'd come by and, you know, make sure everything's okay. You going somewhere?
Just weekend in the mountains.
It's an awful lot of baggage, isn't it?
Hal. Has something happened with Lucinda?
No, nothing like that, but I do need your husband to come down to the station with me.
What for?
Something kind of strange seems to have happened to a Miss Karen Barnes. I'm hoping you can answer a few questions.
Stay tuned for Guiding Light, next on most of these CBS stations. Fashions by Regina Porter. Join us tomorrow for As the World Turns. This is